Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Divine Journey. So, since last episode, I will say this weekend I've been super busy, so I haven't gotten as much done as I would have hoped. But one thing that I did do is, well, I did make these spawners, Spectre, Banshee, and Poltergeist. I was actually playing with spawners for quite a while between episodes. But up here, if we go on up, which I decided to get rid of the Lycanthropy setup that was up here, and that's simply due to the fact that they kept despawning on me, so I was like, shh. Everything but the dinosaurs kept despawning on me. So even though they were tamed and everything, they still just felt like vanishing. So anyways, what I've got over here is I've got a set of spawners, and I can actually flip this switch and turn them off. But if you notice, I have Cadillions from, what is it, Eden? It's for the lambcrystals, right? So this thing right here, the Sulphate Crystal, it is Wildwood, Appalachia, and Eden. I have those in Cadillion form, because they're one of the weaker mobs there, and they tend to drop a good amount of souls. And then Skythrone, I have Archers. So, and that's what those four spawners are, is just those. And then right there, I have a kinetic, or a corporeal attractor. There we go. And then right in here, I have a grinder for right now. So, and you can see the essence is draining. It's going into an ender tank. And then over here, I made these spawners up. I just haven't set up a building for them. But these are, whoops. This one is sheep and this one is cows. Because I want to get those converted over because I actually use those steaks for my mana production as well as I eat them. Like, that's pretty much what I'm always eating. So, and then anyways, the grinder pumps out into here, goes into a diamond chest, and then gets pumped through to our mob system chest. Like mob input. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that on. I've been letting those souls build up for a little while. Also, one thing that was brought up in the comments, and I needed to actually do that, and I kept putting it off and not thinking about it. I went ahead and made a concealment key and just concealed all these chests. So, of course, right-click the drawer controller. It conceals everything. So our FPS is slightly better here. It's still pretty bad. But in all fairness, it's still pretty bad, but it is a bit better than what we had. And then one other thing, over here at our witchery area, our spectral dust production had stopped, and I was trying to figure out what was going on, and our Arthana had broken. So our autonomous activator was just punching mobs, so it was taking like forever for anything to die. So, I don't know, the filter didn't pull it out, which that's fine. Since we changed over to the spectral mobs, I just changed over this, pulled all these other conduits off here, and we just have a green divine sword. Fairly easy to craft. Has infinite uses, good melee damage, so we are producing spectral dust again. It hasn't been running for too long, but we already have 113. It's a lot. It's actually, regardless, it's faster than the Arthana, even if we were, you know, killing zombies with it. And with these spectral creatures, I mean, it's pumping out spectral dust at a pretty good rate. So, yeah, look at all those specters going. I'm actually thinking about automating those corporeal attractors because they're not terribly expensive. They're just kind of a nuisance at this point to craft because they have so many steps that's required for them. So, anyways, today we are going to be first up summoning Death, right? And we're not going to be automating Death until a few episodes from now because I want to fully automate Death when we go to do it. Okay, so today, I'm going to order well, actually, we've got a Tesseract. I'm getting pushed by these fans. Okay, yeah, we've got a Tesseract right here, so I'm actually just going to run the energy up. I'm going to go ahead and run some energy up to where these spawners are going to be placed, right? Because they're going to be... Oh, gosh, these fans. I should go turn these off, but they need to make, like, some boots or something that you can wear that, like, give you immunity to fan pushing. I love fans, but they are quite annoying. If I would just connect them all up to one circuit, I just don't want to go flip all the levers, honestly. I've got all the levers set. I just like, nah, I don't really want to do that. That doesn't sound like any fun. Alright, and then I just have to plug it into this power line. But yeah, we're not going to automate it until we get just a little bit farther in progression, basically into Draconic Evolution, more or less, which we are very, very close to doing. So, then we're just going to automate it, and we're just going to go ahead and just fully automate it then. I'm not even going to worry about the bits and pieces. The only thing that we have automated right now is the mobs. Because I really don't want to have to, like, do all the mob counting and all of that. So, anyways, let me actually grab our earmuffs. I'm going to throw these things on real quick. And for right now, actually, you know what? One other bit of conduit that I want to run is insulated redstone conduit. And I want to go ahead and just run this to where all of our powered spawners are going to be. Just go ahead and get this plugged up while we're... I should be. There we go. That's out of range. So I can actually just kind of float right here. Okay, and I guess the redstone conduit, I'm going to have that come out like... basically just right up here on the wall, just in case I ever want a toggleable shut-off for this. So we'll just kind of run this up to like right there, and I'm going to have to get a facade. I was wondering where all the sound went, and I just realized, oh yeah, I've got earmuffs on right now. Okay, well anyways, I've got our 2 facades made up. And I'm getting just beat down here. Like I said, we're going to be revisiting power very, very soon. Very, very soon. Which I'm actually kind of excited for. I'd like to get back into power, or get back around to power, because like our power system has actually done very, very good, but we are starting to test the limits of it to some extent. I think the biggest problem right now, really though, is just the redstone acting up on anytime like I shut off or crash or something like that, it can act up. So... okay, so before we set these things down, let me go ahead and grab these. I'm going to go ahead and configure them, and so that way I can just kind of set them down and then get out of there. I'd rather the mobs not be spawning right now. So, what we're going to do, we'll set these down right there, and we're going to say, we want you to be active with signal, active with signal, active with signal, and actually let me go ahead and throw these capacitors into there. There we go. And later on, whenever we fully automate this, it's not going to be quite as manual of a system. Really I don't need mob counters for this because they're going to shut off at 6. So this will actually probably stay the way it is, I think. I do believe. Okay, so there is our Spectre. Which one is this? Actually, I want the Banshee in the middle, just so she's like the farthest away from us. So that way the screams hopefully don't hurt us. There we go. All 3 of those are placed. I'm actually going to pull these things off. I hate wearing those things, in all honesty, because I can't hear anything whenever I'm wearing them. Okay, and then what we're going to do is let's just flip that lever on. And here in a second, it should be sending a signal. Oh, you know what? I didn't connect it up. Whoops. My bad. My bad. Let me grab that. Okay, there we go. Now we should have mobs starting to spawn. There we go. I see Banshees. I see Spectres. I'm sure Poltergeists are over here. Yeah, right in there. Okay, so now that we have those mobs spawning, the spawners are going to keep spawning until there's about 6 of them out there. And you'll notice that with the paving stone of warding, they're not going to be able to like get through there. So that works well. And then what I want to do is, I guess we'll just go ahead and get the stuff to summon death. Because, like I said, this first time it's going to be manual. Later on, we're going to fully automate it. Everything. Okay, so we need to bind spectral creatures to a Scarecrow, Trent, Effigy, or Witch's Ladder to create an effect. Okay, so we're going to need a Scarecrow, and a Tunestone, Necromantic Stone, and a Bowline. Now, one thing to note about this, the Necromantic Stone and the Bowline are not consumed whenever you summon death. So later on, whenever we automate this, the only thing that we're going to have to send this to summon a death and kill it is a Tunestone and Scarecrow. Okay? So let's go ahead and get ourselves our Necromantic Stone, our Tunestone. Go ahead and order one of those. And then I'm going to want a Scarecrow, which we made one, I don't know, a few episodes back. And then I'm also going to want a Bowline, which is fairly cheap to get. You'll notice it says like shears, but can harvest trapped plants and cobwebs. Oh, you know what? We're going to have to arcane fuse it. Okay. Let me just pop over there. For some reason I was thinking it was like vanilla witchery craft. It's not something that we're really going to have to automate because it doesn't get consumed with the craft. So I don't believe it takes any durability either. I don't remember it taking any durability. Okay, so Bowline. We need 2 bones, a necromantic bone, block of emerald, and electrical steel. I'm I'm actually very excited about today's episode because, like, getting those lambcrystals up and going, I mean, after that, it's really just going to the final area of, or the last couple areas or whatever of Divine RPG, and then we'll be on our way. So, and then I want to do the witchery bosses as well, but I mean, for the most part, we're about to be done with witchery. And at least start moving into Draconic Evolution, which is going to be great. Yeah, because we'll be finishing out this, maybe this today. And it was brought up by, let's see, I think I mentioned it last episode, but Atricus brought up that you can activate the rituals with Redstone. We're going to be doing that whenever we automate death. Honestly, it totally slipped my mind. I don't generally, with witchery, I don't generally automate it, you know. I've automated like some of the basic machines and stuff before, but this is like the first pack that's ever pushed me to, by the way, there's our bow line. The first pack that's ever really pushed me to automate much is in terms of witchery, so I didn't think about the redstone signal. And also, it was brought up in the comments about grasper plants. We are going to use grasper plants for death, just to kind of show you that. That's another thing that kind of slipped my mind. However, I actually kind of like our current automation, and I don't think it's really any more difficult than setting up grasper plants in truth. But we will use them for death, so you can see how those work, as well as like this setup. So they'll both be put down and everything. Okay, so now that we have that stuff in place, all we've got to do... Are you going to scream at me? Oh yeah, look at my health. Just drop like crazy fast. I'm going to toss this stuff down. Those 4 things. And we're going to shift right click. It's going to start grabbing those things. You can see it. Oh, death is out and I'm wounded. Those banshees are dangerous. They are. Once we automate it, it's not really going to be a problem because those banshees, we're not, this is about as close as we're ever going to get to that setup once it's automated. So, actually, you know what would probably be the best for this? Hearts. Hearts are actually much better than moss pie, and we've got plenty of hearts these days, so I'm just going to grab a bunch of those. I'm going to go ahead and throw our bow line and our necromantic stone into the system, because we don't need those right now. And let's go ahead and eat one of those. And guess what? Okay. Death just teleported away. Now, he is kind of a nuisance to fight because he teleports around, and he has, like, super health regen. There he is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to... Oh. He's actually kind of hard to hit, too, sometimes. Because he kind of works like an Enderman. And you're also limited to how much damage you can do to him at a time. Like this sword does, what, 33? I think he's limited to like 30-something, somewhere in the 30s in damage. So, I've got to try to find this guy. Oh, there he is. He's like stuck on the watermelons. Okay, yeah, you come up here. I hate fighting him. You have to hit him at like just the right time. And then you have to keep doing it because he gets like 1 health per second back. Okay, he's down here somewhere. There he is. Okay, get this area kind of lit up and... I miss the days when bear traps worked on him. You know, because that used to be a thing. Like, you just get him in a bear trap and beat him to death, and it was great times. Oh yeah, I forget this is 1.7. I get them all. I get all sorts of mixed up with them. Oh, look at all that damage. And I can just like spam attack. I actually forgot about that. Okay, he's teleported off again. Oh, there he is. Okay. You need to quit, like, teleporting out of the battlefield here. Oh, I hate him so much. Oh, I hate you, Death. There you are. I mean, honestly, between the hearts and our armor, he's not a terrible fight. He just teleports around, and honestly, this type of terrain, Jen, not the best option when it comes to fighting Death. It's not a great choice, but... I keep thinking those owls are outside my window, and there's actually an owl like right next to where we're fighting at. So he is almost halfway down. He doesn't have any, like, additional phases or anything like that. Like, it's pretty much just tank and spank, really, is the fight. More or less. In MMO terms, that is the fight. But yeah, used to, you could just throw a bear trap down. Bear traps are an item added by Witchery that kind of holds mobs in place. And it's funny because it was part of Witchery, but like it was so OP for Witchery because you would summon Death, and there's actually a few other bosses that would work on. Actually, I think all of them at a time when that would work. And you'd put the bear trap down, and Death would just get stuck in it, and you couldn't teleport out of it, right? Because it works for like Enderman and stuff, and keeps them from teleporting. And he was just kind of like stuck in it, and you just beat him to death, basically. Where are you at, Death? Somewhere right in here, huh? If you can get right like this and just aim at his feet, he doesn't teleport like nearly as much. There we go. You'll notice he does eventually teleport, but it takes him a lot longer to teleport. Or maybe he doesn't teleport at all, if you just keep it right at his feet. But anyways, there we go. Death is dead. Yay. And is that all we got, really? Okay. I didn't get, like, anything that I actually wanted out of that fight. We got, one second here. We got Binky's Skull. We got Infinity 1 Enchanted Book. Binky's Skull, I don't think it's actually used. No, it's not used for anything. But you can take it, right-click, and you get Binky, the skeletal horse. So... and then he drops a saddle to go with it. So, let me actually grab a soul vial real quick. There we go. Alright, because I want to keep Binky, just so that we've got him. And then that stuff, I guess I'll throw that in there, whatever. Okay, so we're going to have to go summon him again, and kill him again. Which is fine. He's not a very difficult fight. Oh, and you know what I have not done yet? I haven't automated Scarecrows. Which I also need to automate jack-o'-lanterns. There's, oops. And there's how to automate scarecrows. Okay, so I should be able to order scarecrows now. There we go. And then a tunestone. There we go. And I'll probably just do this fight off camera. I'm going to summon him real quick. So, there we go. And give me Death. Okay. So Death is off. And he will, I mean, he'll generally teleport up to you. You know, like if you're standing up there or something, he will eventually teleport up to you, generally. But he is kind of unpredictable, as you can tell. Like, he just teleports all over the place. Alright, so he should be around here somewhere. Hey, there's my dragon egg. I was actually looking for that. I was looking for that a bit back. Because that was the one up from the Witchery area that I lost. There we go. Okay, Death. I just saw him somewhere around in here. Hey, there he is. Oh, why you gotta teleport? Okay, I just killed him again. I got Death's footwear. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Okay, let me go summon him again. I just want his hood. That's all I want. Just his hood. Honestly, his hand is really good as well. Like, if you can get Death's hand, because it's a fairly good melee weapon. Or, weapon. I guess you wouldn't really call it melee, but... Anyways, I'm about to summon him again. Maybe third time's the charm. I hope so. Okay, third time is not the charm. I got Death's footwear again. Which is awesome. Awesome times. Now, I know some of you guys might be wondering, so I did want to address one little thing. If you use, like, the Ender Sword, right? Because, of course, that stops Enderman from teleporting. That kind of stuff does not work on Death. I forgot to mention that because, you know, it would be nice if it did, but it doesn't. Because Death does not classify as an Enderman. So, just a heads up on that, in case you were wondering. Anyways, I'm going to keep summoning him and keep trying for this. Okay, you will be happy to know that after kill number 4, I got a third Death's Footwear. Best luck ever. I tell you what, since this is taking so many attempts, and I'm actually probably going to have to go get more to start cotton here in a minute, but I would like to just go ahead and semi-automate part of this, or actually automate part of this. So what I'm going to want is a vacuum chest. Just go ahead and grab that. And then let me get a filter. And that's really it. Oh yeah, let's see, do I just want to use the one... I'm just going to use the ones downstairs for this. And that's due to the fact that we really don't need these. So I'm just going to steal 2 of those grasper plants that we used a while back. And what we're going to do is we're going to set these things up. Like one right there, one right there. And then, let's see, actually, let me grab these item conduits and, okay, they'll float. Wasn't for sure if they'll float or not. We all float down here. And let's pull that up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that you can insert, and then I'm going to set a vacuum chest right here. And we're just going to say that you can... Yeah, just grab those for me. You can extract always active. You can extract always active. And I'll come back with, facades later. And then what we're going to do is in this vacuum chest, we're going to put an item filter. And we're just going to say bowline and necromantic stone. Because those 2 items, if you recall, they don't get used up, right? They stay in the system, and there you go. So I'm just going to put necromantic stone right there, bowline right there. We'll get into more about the automation a bit later on, but that's just a little bit of it. Just to make this process a little bit easier, because this is actually taking... this is taking a fair number of kills. The kills actually don't take that long. But you'll notice, like right now, it's going to pull... There goes the necromantic stone. There goes the bowline. They get replaced. And, oh. Oops, forgot to pull this lever. See, I've still got 13 to starve cotton, so hopefully he'll spawn up soon. Okay, so here we go. It's going to grab the Scarecrow, grab the Attune Stone, grab the necromantic stone, grab the bowline. And there we go. There's Death. And you can see it dropped the necromantic stone and the bowline are right back in there. So it just kind of makes my life a little bit easier. I don't have to pack those things around anymore. They're just part of the system. So, and we'll automate... The rest of it's actually super simple. But we'll automate the rest of it once we get a little bit farther. So I can fully automate it. Because I don't want to have to kill him manually. Because we're going to need a lot of Death's Hands. And I don't even want to know how many times I'm going to have to kill him to get those. So, anyways, I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, finally. After, what was that, 5 kills, I got Death's Hood. Which this thing is pretty nifty. You'll notice for starters, look at that. I love the graphic for this hood. Love it. Also, it gives you night vision. So if I was to take this off, yeah, you can see right there it had night vision. It's only got protection of 2. It's not terrible though. His stuff gives some pretty nice boosts, especially if you get like Hand of Death. And that should have, yeah, that counted. Okay. Too bad we don't have any real use for... Oh, we're going to need it for Wyvern Boots, but that's it. I've got a bunch of those now. I have a whole lot of them. Please take them. Power 5. Okay. Anyways, so we've got that now. We have that. And that means we can start working on our wolf altar. And honestly, I mean, aside from that, the rest of it's all fairly easy, right? Like, it's pretty easy to craft it. It's just that hood. That hood, though. And I know Xavier brought up in the Discord that you can technically become a werewolf without the werewolf statue, but you still have to get the wolf altar to get lamb crystals, so might as well just wait on it. Okay, so we're going to need 4 pieces of stone. Look out. That's expensive. Now, the wolf heads, I may have to go out and get those, because I haven't actually set up any spawners yet, but... I have 1 wolf head, and altogether I'm going to need 2 wolf heads, 4 wolf's bane, and 2 Hellhound heads. Well, I've got the Wolfsbane. So we'll go ahead and throw that down. And that. And then, speaking of, what all do we need wolf heads for? Just this. Hellhound heads, just this. Okay, so I'm probably just going to manually go get them. We're also going to need Machina, Corpus. I'm pretty sure I've got all this stuff. Yeah, I'm good on all that. Okay, so all I really need is wolf heads then. Regular wolf heads and Hellhound heads. Now, Hellhound heads are actually super easy. Don't I have my cleaver? Or did I put that... You know what? The cleaver's in the nether. I'm actually going to go snag that real quick. Because we've got it set up in our automation system. And I'm just going to snag it and then we'll go hunt down some... well, no, you know what? I don't think beheading actually works for the witchery ones. I could be wrong, but I think it would help to get, like, that wolf head. But I don't think it helps with this one. So, I'm not going to worry about making a spawner. I do need... I need 2 of those to make the wolf altar. It actually shouldn't take too long, because generally wolves are pretty dense once you find a good place for them. It's just a matter of finding like a good spot for them. Maybe I should make a spawner. I don't know. I'm torn. Okay, there's one. I mean, they're pretty common. So I don't know if it's really worth bothering with it. There's 3. Okay, and then on to Hellhounds. Now, I just thought... Actually, Hellhounds might be a little bit more of trouble than normal because I have lycanites. Oh, and usually whenever I'm flying around, it takes me forever to find things that I'm looking for, thanks to lycanites. Oh no, here's a bunch of them. Never mind. So these guys right here, they're very, very common in the nether, and they're a nuisance in the nether. There we go. There's 2 Hellhound heads. So that easy. Okay. And then, what is it? 2 wolf heads, 2 Hellhound heads. We'll go ahead and set these out. Wolf head, and then our Hellhound heads. There. And there. And guess what? Guess what time it is, at long last. Right-click that, and get this thing running. Okay, now it's going to take a little while for all that Essentia to go through, because it's a lot. It's quite a bit. So, 256, 256, 256, 256, 128. A lot of Essentia that has to go into there. So, I'll be back here in just a bit. I'm going to edit some footage while that thing's crafting, and I'll be back in just a little while once that's crafted, and we'll start getting into the werewolf stuff, and then the lamb crystals, which I'm super excited for. Okay, our wolf altar is done. Woot woot. There we go. And also, we have a quest, right? This right here, we get a night vision module. Let's go ahead and take that. And the next quest is for cooked lamb chops, and then our lamb crystals. So we're going to have to level up as a werewolf. Not a problem. The rest of this is kind of downhill. The only thing is, we are going to have to wait for a specific moon cycle. Because the werewolf stuff requires, like, full moons to really take full effect, I guess. So, I'll tell you what. No, let's not set it up right here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get some things together. I'm going to get some things together to make this a whole lot easier. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to want is a ritual stone. Imperfect ritual stone. This right here. And let me get a signal and blocks. And then I'm going to want, what slate is that? Reinforced. And we're actually going to use this later for our necromancy stones a bit later on. So making this thing will be great. And then let's get our blood orb. There we go. Imperfect ritual stone. And then, let's see. I'm also going to want a soul vial. And then let me also get a fence. A lead. And then let me also get a wolf trap. This right here. Oh, we're going to have to make this from a bear trap. Okay. That takes a necromantic stone. Let me order that. And then I need the dark... What was it I need? Dark steel ladders. Okay. There's our bear trap, almost. There we go. Okay, that turned at night. What moon cycle is it right now? Out of curiosity... It is... Okay. I was making sure it wasn't a full moon. Because full moon is what we need. Like, that is definitely what we need. I was hoping we weren't wasting a full moon for this. Okay, necromantic stone. There is our bear trap. And then to get the wolf trap. Oh, we need fabrico, vinculum, metallum. We're gonna need silver deposits and all that for it. Which isn't terrible to do. Okay, it's been a little bit since I cut, and I've got this thing crafted. Okay, the silver vat. And it's not terribly expensive. 4 blocks of silver, a skytherm block, 2 mortem blocks, water bucket, witch's oven, some pretty basic essentia. And what we're going to do, these things are fairly expensive, as you can tell. I mean, they're not expensive, but they take a little while to craft. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to take a furnace. Do I have any gold ore in here? By chance. I do not. I'm going to have to go out and get some gold, actually. Almost forgot about that. Now, you can also use, like in the book, they suggest you use the Curse of the Wolf. We're not going to do that. The Circle Magic, page 81. The reason I'm not going to do that is because it requires a cat familiar. We have an owl familiar. I don't really feel like going to get a cat familiar, in truth. And honestly, this method is not really that much more involved than doing the ritual, I don't feel like, all things considered. And plus, it gives us a reason to get into silver and kind of show you those mechanics and stuff. So we might as well do it this way. So I've got a little bit of gold there. Honestly, that may be enough. Let's see, the wolf trap, right? It takes 2 null catalysts, that's not a problem. 4 silver deposits. I've got all of that stuff, and then wolfsbane and the bear trap, which we've got that. Which this thing, take a look at the bear trap, it's really, really cheap. So, not terribly expensive. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this furnace up, and I'm going to put the silver vat next to it. Now, you can actually put, like, even up to 4 furnaces around the silver vat. But what's going to happen is whenever you smelt gold, there's a chance that it's going to make silver deposits. It's a chance. It's not 100%. Let's see, once this cooks down... Okay, there we go. And you can right-click, and there we go. There's a silver deposit. So we're going to have to let that sit and run for a minute. What all uses do I really have? The silver bolts, pulverized silver. Yeah, and then we've got the witch hunter stuff. Werewolf protection, set bonus to protection from curses, enables draining bolts, cannot use puppets. This stuff is specialized at killing werewolves and vampires and witches and all the stuff from this mod, basically. But you kind of lose the ability to do any of those things in the process. Okay, I haven't gotten lucky yet. We've cooked 4 more and I've still only got the 1. Okay, let me run around and see if I can find a little bit more gold. It shouldn't take a whole lot. But just in case we don't get what we need from that. Oh, there we go. I see another silver deposit. Yes. Okay. So there's 3 right now. Honestly, I think we should get our last one from this. I should think. Okay, here we go. There is our 4 silver deposits, finally. I'm actually just gonna... do I want to leave the silver vat down here? I'll actually take it with me. I'll set it up in the little witchery area, I guess. Oh, and by the way, I did disable Lycanite. There's still some Lycanites mobs like floating around. But I did disable Lycanites for this part because Lycanites is going to like kill my spawns. Just because. Like, I've still got the mod in, but I've got the mobs disabled for right now just because they tend to take up like all the spawns. You'll notice whenever I fly around there's like not many zombies and stuff. I did decrease the weight, but it really hasn't had as much of an impact as I might have hoped. So I've decreased the weights by a lot, but there's still like so many Lycanites stuff out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our bear trap. It goes right in the middle there. Silver deposits. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need our null catalysts. And then our wolfsbane. Like that. And I think that's everything, right? The wolf trap. Yes. That's everything. And double check my essentia. We are good to go. Let's go ahead activate that. And we'll get that going. Yeah, I'll be back in just a minute once this is done running, because it's going to take a minute. I don't think, besides Vinculum, I don't think there's a whole lot of Ascension. No, there's not a whole lot of Ascension after Vinculum. So once that gets done, I mean, it's pretty quick after that. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, it's pulling in the last of the items right now. It didn't really take that long. I went over to the witchery area and set our vat down and whatnot. So it's over there. There we go. It's kind of hard to tell because they look the same. There is our wolf trap. Okay. So now that we've got that, what moon cycle are we? Yeah, I think I've missed the full moon. That's fine. I'm going to go find a nice flat place. Because honestly, with my terrain gen, normally you can pretty much do this anywhere, but with my terrain gen, it's actually kind of dangerous to, let's see, do this most anywhere. By the way, I got a sheep in that soul vial a bit back. So I think I'd cut when I got it, but I'm going to go find a nice, fairly flat area. Okay, right here is great. Like a little swamp area right here. Let me go ahead and pull this off. I'll flatten this out a little bit. Just so we can see and everything's good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our wolf altar and we're going to set it down right here. And if we right click this, it says you are unworthy. And you'll notice we get mining fatigue for about a minute. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and set up our bed and our imperfect ritual stone. And we're going to take and put a lapis block on top of that. And then what we can do is we'll just sleep in our bed, make it day. Because we're going to need to cycle through days for just a minute and get, we want a full moon, basically. I still have some lycanites, but I think it's mainly the passive ones that are around. Okay, and then we're going to set it back to night. Just right-click that imperfect ritual stone. Check your moon cycle. Go back to bed. I think this should be it. There we go. There's our full moon that we want. Okay, so werewolves can come out during the full moon. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wolf trap and we're going to set it right there in front of the altar and then just right click to lock it. And then we're going to take our fence. We're going to set it up about right here. And we're going to take our sheep. And we're going to put him down. And we're going to tie him up with a lead. There we go. And then we're just going to kind of hang out. Okay? Because we're waiting for a certain mob to spawn. And he's going to come running towards this sheep. And he might take a little while. By the way, this wolf trap can only capture wolves and werewolves. Now, one thing to note is once you set this down, you can't really pick it up. So it's pretty much here. Oh, there we go. See that guy coming? That's a werewolf. That's what a wolf man looks like. That's not what we're going to look like, but that's what a wolf man looks like. Now, we have to get him to stand on top of this wolf trap, right? There we go. And now whenever he's trapped in front of this wolf altar, he gets blessed. So if we run up and he smacks us, you'll see it says your sense of smell seems a little stronger. And look at that. We are now a wolf. That easy. And the nice thing is I can actually fly. Now you can't really use tools too much. Like, you're not going to be able to use like your sword and stuff like that. You'll notice it took all my armor off. I can still fly thanks to the angel ring. But alright, so then if we talk to the wolf altar, it says, the voice echoes, 3 ingots of gold, give them to me. Alright, now if I move this, I need to, let me actually snag this guy. Because that werewolf is forever going to be enchanted. And let me actually mark this. I'm going to mark it as wolf trap in case we ever need that again or something. Because you can't really pick it up, like I said. Alright, so let me, should still be able to use this. Yeah. There we go. Like, you can still use some of those. You just can't really, I don't think you can use swords and stuff like that. It's kind of funny being a flying wolf here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's pop downstairs to our system here. We'll set our wolf altar back up. So he wants 3 ingots of gold. Well, guess what? Couldn't be easier. Let's grab those and right click. There we go. Gold is given, a charm is made. Let the beast within be freed, and the moon have no sway. Okay, now what the moon charm does is it allows us to force transformation, like even when it's not a full moon, and also if we're holding it, we don't automatically become a werewolf anymore. Like, we get to choose when we become a werewolf. Okay, so now what we can do is, by the way, like, you can actually just attack with your paws and stuff, and it does like a lot of damage. Now we've leveled up. So technically we are a level 2 werewolf. Now you can keep leveling up. I think it goes to like 10 or 15 or 12. I don't know. Somewhere around in there. I can't remember. It's been a while. But what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to hunt some sheep. And kill them off. There we go. There's our first raw lamb chop. That easy. That easy. And I'm actually going to fly around for a bit. Honestly, I don't plan on removing the werewolf state. Now you can. There's a rite of remove curse that you can use. Let me actually dump all this stuff because I've got my armor and everything in here and just a bunch of stuff taking up space at the moment. Imperfect ritual stone. I don't necessarily need it. We are going to use it later. I'm not going to use it today to change over our mob system, but we could. I'm the flying wolf. Now, eventually you can become a wolf man. It's a little bit farther in leveling. And I mean, honestly, the level, you just talk to the wolf altar. Now, there is certain things, like they'll be like, bring me a bunch of these raw lamb chops, and yeah, it seems like special mob spawns like that can still happen, like the Reapers and whatnot. Oh, I got poison. I'm just going to fly around and get as many of these as I can, I guess. Or I'll get a few more. I'm probably not going to get as many as I can, but I'm just kind of having fun running around as a werewolf, to be honest with you. Like, just pawing everything to death. Okay, I'm not really seeing anything much. Plus, we can duplicate these. There's not really a whole lot of reason to... It's just kind of fun, honestly. Honestly, it's just kind of fun to run around as a wolf. And I mean, really, I guess technically they're cheaper to run around and do that, but because they're really not hard to get manually, in truth, but we are going to go ahead and automate these things. Okay, so now that we've got raw lamb chops, I think that completes... No, we have to get cooked lamb chops, which is just smelt them. Okay, and I'm not going to automate that because there's not really any reason to, because we're going to be automating lamb crystals, not lamb chops. So we'll just pop in here, and I'm just going to throw these into one of our redstone furnaces, get that going. Now you'll notice one thing, I can actually click right here, and that opens up the redstone furnace, but you'll notice any eye gets confused. It thinks I'm aiming at this block, and not this block. Because you're only one tall whenever you are a wolf. So it's actually kind of nice for building as well. So, okay, so if we take a look in here, we have 9 cooked lamb chops, and that's going to complete a quest here. We get a miniature yellow heart. Okay. Okay, easy so far, right? And we are going to keep our wolf altar. Like, if we wanted to, we can actually open this up. You get a lot of really nice buffs if you keep leveling. Strengthen your claws, rend the flesh from 30 of the weakest of prey, place their mutton before me. That's the quest where they want you to get 30 of the raw... I think you need the raw lamb chops. I don't think it's the cooked. I think it's the raw. So honestly, some of that stuff I may continue just to level up the wolf just for fun. There's really not... I don't feel like there's any benefit to getting rid of it if you're not on a server. If you're on a server, of course, you might have witch hunters coming after you with like silver weapons and they can wreck you. But the werewolves, one thing to note is they're immune. I don't know about these modded weapons, but generally, like, they're immune to like diamond swords and stuff. You have to use silver weapons to hurt them, which is kind of cool. But anyways, these cooked lamb chops, all we have to do is throw them into the elven portal, and we get lamb crystals. So let's go ahead, toss those guys through, and there we go. There's 9 lamb crystals. And that completes a quest, and we get 3 Icorium. Okay, so right now we've got boss fight Death, boss fight Leonard in here. So if we take a look at which is which, 97% completed. I was about to say, oh, we can make Draconic Core, but there's still one more thing we have to do. Okay, but I want to automate lamb crystals, just because, you know, honestly, it's not hard to manual get these, but it's also not hard to automate these in this pack. So Bestia, Famus, Vitreous, Victus, we've got all that. That's not a problem. Brown wool, I've got a sheep spawner set up, because I am going to automate getting wool with the sheep spawner, because you can get brown wool. We've actually got quite a bit of brown wool, in truth. Let's open this up. You can see 430, but I will set that up, and I mean, honestly, I can do a recipe using just wool, and then, like, I guess cocoa, I think I've got plenty of cocoa beans. 706, and I believe it's in farming thing. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just teach you how to make those, just so that's there. Also for the lamb crystals, before we get into all the fun of duplicating them, and it's actually fairly simple, sulfate crystals. We're going to need these, and we're also going to need base spawn crystals. So let's teach you how to make that. That's why I set up all those like Divine RPG spawners between episodes, because we were definitely going to need it. And let me get some patterns. Make me 10 of these. And the best thing to keep in mind is, look at this. I'm just a flying wolf. It's a little bit cooler though once you get the wolf form, like the Wolfman form, like what we just saw. That's one reason I kind of wanted to do it that way, because you actually get to see the Wolfman before we become a Wolfman. Now, villagers, you can actually run into those just in the wild too, by the way. Those Wolfmen, and technically you could capture them, but you're going to have to use that wolf trap in order for them to turn you into a werewolf, because the altar has to bless them. Other players can turn you into a wolf too, but as long as it's not turned off in the configs and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of neat little tidbits about that stuff. Okay, so the Sulphate Crystal, there we go, that's automated. And let's go ahead and grab, well, I'm going to have to order it. Okay, and let me open up in the molecular assembler. We'll dump these 3 recipes into there. Okay. And then to actually duplicate these, we're going to need 2 brown wool. We're going to need sulfate crystals. Make me 1 more of those. Oh, those don't stack. Okay, that's fine. And then we are going to need a lamb crystal. And this is going to start a little bit of automation for us, which is automating things that take themselves. I was just kind of waiting till this point because that way we could just kind of knock out the majority of it in one go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this altar over here for lamb crystals. So let me make a couple adjustments here, and it's actually kind of beneficial for us. I'm going to pull up this cobblestone. I'm going to pull off this storage bus. Let me actually pull up that. Let me put that. I set all this stuff up and now I don't want it here anymore. But the nice thing is I get to save some altars here. Now I will say that normally I'm more of a vampire person, but that's okay. I actually like the werewolf on here quite a bit. Okay, so I have ripped up the ground a lot. Just a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up, I only need 4 arcane pedestals for this entire setup, you know, because all it takes is 2 brown wool, 2 sulfate crystals, and you're done. So I'm going to set 1 right there. I'm going to set 1 right there. I'm going to set 1 right here. And I'm going to set 1 right there. Okay, and I'm going to have to run a cable over. Let me check our cables. There we go. Yeah, see, there's the P2P. Right there. It's actually really hard to... Okay, it's using 3 channels at the moment, is what we're using off of this dense blue line. Okay, I've got our dense blue over to here. And then what I want to do is... Wolf transformation at this point is awesome. It's so useful, in truth. Okay, let's set up ourselves our interface, and we're going to make a pattern here in just a moment. And I will say, even though I'm automating these, because I know there's been a lot of requests for automating these, I'm actually probably going to get a lot of them manual. And that's simply due to the fact that they're so easy to get manual. And honestly, I'm having a lot of fun doing it too. Like, just running around as a wolf man, like, killing stuff. It's just fun times. Okay, I'm going to set the interface up, like, right over here. And let me go ahead and get another interface. And we'll set this one up like right here, okay? And it's going to be kind of similar to the one that we have over there. So what we'll do is we'll just right-click the back of this, and we're going to say, do not push crafting items if the inventory contains items. And that's so that, you know, if it's crafting something, don't keep pushing it. There's no reason to. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, let's see, let's set up a storage bus, some storage buses, on each of our arcane pedestals. So 1 right there, and then we're going to have 1 setting right there. I love this wolf form right now. 1 setting there, 1 setting there. And these are probably the easiest things to set up. And so what we're going to do is we're actually just going to specify what they can take. Okay, so you can take sulfate crystal, brown wool. You can take sulfate crystal. And then you can take brown wool. Okay, so everything has a dedicated spot that it's going to go to. And of course, these arcane pedestals, they can only ever have like one item on them. So if I was to put brown wool, say I can't put more than one on there. That's the most that they're going to accept. And then we're just going to go ahead and just plug these up. These are done. These are done. Simple, easy. I'm going to facade this later. I just went ahead and pulled up all the facades just to make it a little bit easier when it comes to plugging all this up. Which really, I guess what I'm going to do is just run this around to one side. I don't really need to run it around. It's only 4 channels. So there's that. And then let me go ahead and just run some power over to the sub-network real quick. Which I will say, we're not going to get all the stuff automated today that takes itself to craft. We're going to start with lamb crystals. Next episode, we'll start off by... which actually, let me pull up a little bit more of this, because I do want access to this upper section. So there's that. That's in place. And then I just want to connect this up with some cables. So we'll just kind of run these cables back to like right there, down, and over to our interface. Plug that in. So right now we're using 5 channels. Okay. And then what we'll do, now the fun part. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have another storage bus. And we're going to attach the storage bus to this runic matrix. A couple ways that I could do this. I'm going to go ahead and just take this storage bus. I'm going to plug it into the network. There we go. And I'm going to take our lamb crystal. And we're going to go ahead and put a lamb crystal on here. The idea is we're going to have a lamb crystal always setting right there. So all we have to send this to craft is 2 sulfate crystals, 2 brown wool, and it's going to make us a lamb crystal. Alright, so we got our storage bus on there, and it's reading that this network right now has lamb crystal. Okay, and so then what we're going to do is let's take... see, how many channels am I using currently? 4, 5, 6 is really it. Then we'll do 7, 8. Yeah, so we're only going to use like 8 channels for this, I guess. Let's go ahead and take an export bus. And let's take a level. I'm going to go craft one. I need to make a level emitter. I think is how I want to do this. So level emitter. And then go ahead and give me a toggle bus. And I actually want the standard toggle bus, not the inverted one this time. So we'll go ahead and grab that. And I think some Fluix cable. And I think that's everything that I'm going to need for this. Like I said, pretty straightforward. Actually, let's go ahead and just set up a recipe here. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell it that if you send... no, processing. If you send 2 sulfate crystals, 2 brown wool, then you are going to get 1 lamb crystal. Technically, it makes 2, but it takes 1 to make it, right? So in our recipe, it's just gonna make 1. Okay, and then all we got to do is just set that into there. There we go. And then let's see. Do I want it to export into the interface, or do I want it to... let's just do that. So export bus, feeding onto the interface right there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to bring the cable up, like so. We are going to connect our toggle bus to that cable right there, and then we're just going to bring that over and connect it into the interface, right? So it's exporting into this, and it's connected into this network, this little sub-network that we've created. And so then what we're going to do is, let's see, I need cable anchors. And let me double check. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, and this will be 8. Yeah, so 8 channels. It's not bad. Actually, less channels than I was thinking I was going to use for it, in truth. I'm just going to cable anchor that. We don't want that to connect. And then we're going to set up a cable right there that kind of runs around. It's going to have our level emitter. And make sure you don't put any speed upgrades in this export bus or anything like that, because it can impact it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say redstone mode, emit when levels are above or equal to the limit. Yes, that's what I want. So when levels are above or equal to lamb crystals of 2 lamb crystals, then you're going to emit redstone. Okay? And it's really that simple. It's really that simple. Okay. Oh, and I do need one more channel, and that is for the, but I can connect it. I'm going to connect it into this channel, so that's no problem. We've got to set up the Essential Provider, and I'll tell you what, I think what we're going to do is we're going to stick it right, I guess just back here. I'm just going to have it out of sight, I think. Okay, and then I'm going to want the provider, one of these. Let's go ahead and set this up like right here, I think. And let's bring this down. Now this is gonna, oops, this is gonna connect to our main network, not our sub network. So make sure you're not connecting it up to the sub network. And we'll just bring this down like so, and I'll just connect it into this. That's fine. Can I not? Oh, there's a lantern there. There we go. So we'll connect that up. So now it has access to Essentia, and we should be all set, I think. I think so. I think that's everything that I want. So, okay, I've got the lamb crystals. Oh, there's the other ones. Let's go ahead and order one and see what happens. Okay, so order that. There we go. It's going to start crafting. And let's actually pop in here so you can see it. Okay, so right now it's getting Essentia, right? Okay, it was blocked. Yeah, I was thinking it could transmit through that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to shift it forward then. Once this is done crafting. Luckily I noticed that, because if it had ran for very long it would have just dumped Fluix everywhere. Okay, so it's pulling in the brown wool. It's pulling in a Sulphate Crystal. There goes another brown wool. And there goes another Sulphate Crystal. And pow, it should be done. And if we take a look in the system now, yeah, you can see it's emitting a redstone signal to that export bus, but put lamb crystal into that. There we go. That was the problem. I didn't have lamb crystal set to the export bus. So if we take a look now, there we go. There's a lamb crystal. Okay, let me shift this over. It's actually a fairly simple setup, I think. Just level emitters. Level emitters are probably the most powerful thing ever. They really, really are. Okay, so let's order one more time. Don't forget to set that export bus like I did. So let's order one more lamb crystal. Okay, so it just had to craft all the parts, right? It didn't have the sulfate crystals. Didn't have the brown wool. This device may not be online yet. There we go. Okay, now it's online. I didn't think about it. It takes it a second to kick on there. So it's sending the beastie over. That's our brown Essentia, which I can't remember what I have automated for that. And then now it's sending over, I think it's Victus or Famus, right? Lamb crystals. Famus. Then it'll be Vitreous and then Victus after that. Right, there goes the Victus. Take a look right now. Currently we have one lamb crystal. I've got the 8 right here. And then done. You just kind of have to have a dedicated altar for this is the best way to do it. I mean, technically you could do it without a dedicated altar. It's just easier this method. And then there goes that. And pow, it has finished crafting. We take a look in here. 2 lamb crystals. So, there we go. Oh, I actually had these on me. I didn't even realize. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Oh, and by the way, let me show you if you're in werewolf form, because once you hit level 2, they give you this moon charm. And if you're not familiar with witchery, I don't want to end as a werewolf, because you guys might be wondering how do I get back into human form. What you can do is you can take your moon charm and just hold right click with this for a second. Just keep holding it, and there you go. Now I'm back in human form. And the nice thing about the moon charm is, like, if we come out here, okay, it's daytime right now, right? I shouldn't be able to become a werewolf, but watch this. Moon charm, pow. Now I'm a werewolf. It's a nice thing about the moon charm. And I believe I can actually, you'll notice it does take some durability damage, but I believe I can actually repair this inside of here. Yes, there we go. It's such a handy tool. Moon charm, like, that's the thing. Like, that's why I don't see any point in getting rid of lycanthropy, because it's kind of useful, especially for building, or not building, but like running cables and stuff. Like you saw, I was able to get down inside that altar like so easy today, and that's because I'm 1 block tall. Now there is, if I recall, there's some potions from witchery that can do that too, but why bother when you can just get lycanthropy and turn into a werewolf at any time as soon as you hit level 2, which took what, 3 pieces of gold, and now you have a 1 block high building space. And lycanthropy can actually get pretty powerful if you keep leveling it up. Like once you get to like wolf form and stuff, there's some pretty nice boosts from that. So I'm definitely going to stick with it. I do like the vampirism a lot, but honestly, I think for this pack, I think I want to stick with the lycanthropy. I do believe. Let's go ahead and set up the wolf altar. Now, there are some other quests. I think there's a quest from the wolf altar, if I recall correctly, where you kill like the horned huntsman. So what I'm probably going to do like between episodes is actually just like level up our lycanthropy a little bit until we get that quest to kill the horned huntsman, and then we can actually like go kill him. But I'm going to put our wolf altar like right here, and I'll tell you what, let me actually get like, let me get a piece of stone. There we go. I don't know, I may get something a little bit more intricate than that, but it just kind of matches the statue. I do love that statue, though. I wish it wasn't quite so expensive in this pack, or there was like a duplication method, because I would use it for decor. Though, really, in truth, I think the only part that's bad on it is the Death's Hood. Once we get to like in-game stuff where we need the Death's hands, we're going to have plenty of Death's Hoods. So it's not really going to be a problem. Like, as soon as we automate Death, it's going to be easy mode. Okay, so, I mean, that's done. That's done. 97% completed, and lambcrystals are fully automated. Now, like I said, we still need to automate like all those duplication methods. Also, death protection poppets, because those are not working with our system. I've come up with an idea for how we're going to change that up, because I can't. You see, I can't hit next on this. Which I don't know. Let's see, death protection poppet takes a poppet that's not bound, drop of luck, diamond vapor, poppet imbuer, 2 blocks of gold. I'm not for sure what. Let me actually go look at the recipe. No, it couldn't be the recipe, because it would just say, if it was the recipe, it would say, oh, can't craft this because of you're missing this or something. I'm not for sure. Not for sure. I'm going to go take a look at the recipe, though, because I'm kind of curious. Let's grab that out, and let's throw it into here. Just take a quick look at this. So it's a crafting recipe, and it's identical to that, so I don't know. But anyways, I've come up with an idea for how we're going to automate that. I'm actually just going to put this back for right now. We're just going to do it a little bit differently. So next episode we'll tackle that stuff, as well as some bosses, because I'm not ready to leave witchery just yet until we kill a couple bosses. First up being Leonard, also Baba Yaga, the Horned Huntsman, and the Glug and Glog, or whatever, the Kobold guys, right? I want to kill the 4 of those, because they weren't required for a quest. Like I said, I am going to level up lycanthropy a little bit until they give us the quest for the Horned Huntsman, and then we'll kill him after that. So I'll do that between episodes, as well as probably be working on a speed build. So, like I said, I just didn't have a chance to this weekend. I was actually super busy because you may have seen, if you're on the Discord, I know on the Patreon Discord, I know we were talking about it, Cy Raven and I. But in case you did, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but like a month and a half ago. Yeah, it was like 6 weeks ago. My girlfriend's been wanting a pug like for all her life, basically. She loves pugs. Anyways, she found a breeder that was nearby that had reasonably priced pug puppies. You know, the mom had just had a baby and everything, and so anyways, she put down a deposit for the dog, and so anyways, this past weekend we had to go pick up the puppy, and yeah, so we've had that puppy, and it's little bitty. And if you've ever had a little puppy, you know exactly where I'm going with this. No, don't fall. Anyways, it's a baby, so it's like meh, meh, meh. And it just follows me. It follows me around because I'm like home with it, you know, and it follows her around whenever she's here with it, and it sleeps with her and everything. But I watch it while she's at work and try to record. But anyways, I didn't really get a chance this weekend to get my speed building and stuff done. So also, if this video is coming out late, it shouldn't be. But if it does, I do apologize. So it might be a little bit later than intended because I'm a little bit behind at the start of the week, but I should be able to catch up now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And of course, if you guys have any questions or anything, do let me know and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. If you have any questions regarding the lamb crystal automation or anything, I think it's pretty straightforward. The main thing you need to do is your storage bus. That's all you need on that central altar. Let's actually pop over there, and I'm going to just, because I didn't take you guys through it like after we got it all set up, and so just in case you're like, whoa, I don't know what was going on there, maybe I went through it too fast. Just to give you guys a quick rundown. So I love this. So happy to have lycanthropy. So anyways, your lamb crystal goes here. That lamb crystal never moves. You do not, you don't completely empty your system out with lamb crystals. You have 4 runic altars. Of course, this is with a dedicated matrix setup. I like this more. Plus lamb crystals, we're probably going to want a lot of these moving forward. Storage bus on that. No filters or anything like that. These are filtered specifically to take these items. This one, you don't need a filter because it's never going to take any items. There's always going to be 1 lamb crystal setting on this. And then, other than that, it's really just right over here. It's all on a subnetwork, just like we set up before. Interface facing into interface. Power ran over. And then, right up here, export bus, feeding down to this interface, specifically set to only export lamb crystals. And then a level emitter saying when there's more than 2 or more than or equal to 2 lamb crystals in this subnetwork, then you can emit a redstone signal. That tells the toggle bus, okay, now you can export lamb crystals, and it exports until it has below 2 lamb crystals in the network. Okay, so anytime it crafts one, it pulls that one that got crafted out, and it leaves the one that we're crafting with in. Okay? Very, very straightforward, very, very simple setup. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to get those answered for you. Also, a world download. I can't remember exactly what episode this is. I think it's 67, maybe. So a world download will be coming up in just a few episodes, which will be good because I think the last world upload was pretty much before we started the witchery stuff, and the next world upload will be like right after we finish the witchery stuff. So, which will be good. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure to hit that like button. I'm totally going to rock out in wolf form today. Anyways, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Stay updated with when new videos come out. It really helps out a lot. And of course, thank you guys for all the support. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.